Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. It is Sunday morning, it's like 9:45. It's quite early for me. I was sitting down to catch up in my books and I figured I should probably come and chat to you. I had originally planned to make a video on Thursday, Friday like normal, and then possibly on Saturday, but I found out on Thursday I found out that the sleep clinic put my results in the post on Wednesday, supposedly. I'm not sure if they actually did or if they were just placating me, but they told me my results went in the post sometime last week, and I have been paranoid as hell waiting for them. It's not really an overstatement to say that these results will change my life potentially. Either things will stay the same and I will get worse, or I will receive treatment and support. And obviously anyone who's been watching for any amount of time knows that I am like struggling with a capital S. It's been a bit grim recently, especially the last couple of years. I feel like it's gotten a lot worse. So anyway, I've been waiting for the results. I was hoping they might come yesterday because they didn't come at the end of last week. I was thinking, okay, well there's no post on Sundays, but Saturday there's a chance. So I was trying to be chill in the morning, but by it got to midday and there had been no post. I was so stressed. I ended up having a massive panic attack, which weirdly I think helped. It helped relieve some of the pressure I was feeling. And then I finally caught up on Daredevil. The letter did not arrive. So I guess now the soonest it will come is tomorrow, next week. So I figured if I don't film this today, basically, it's not getting filmed. And I'm at a point where I have kind of a lot to talk about again. And if I leave it another week, there'll be too much to try and catch up on. This is another week where I don't have a lot of additional footage to superimpose over the top. There's no b-roll yet, just because obviously my foot is still broken and I have not been going outside. It is getting better, definitely, but it still hurts really bad. I've started sort of slowly walking to my appointments again, so that's good. But the ache afterwards is unbelievable, so I'm still taking it easy. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks I can start actually doing stuff again like a normal person, but we shall see. So looking at my file of facts first, I can't remember where exactly I left us, especially because I film in between weeks on Patreon too, and then I just get a bit confused. I'm pretty sure you saw all of this because of the stickers that came last week. And then this is one of my weekly pages. I've been working on my oracle cards, which I'll talk about at the end because a few people have been asking. I share a lot of progress for that project on Patreon as well, but obviously if you're not on there then you're out of the loop. So I will discuss it at the end and show you my progress. Here is my media tracking for last week. I think this is last week. It might be the week before. No, last week, okay. I read Dawn of the Cursed Queen, which is the third installment in the Of Gods and Monsters trilogy, or I think there's 4 books, there's going to be 4. That's the Book of Azrael series. I started reading them when I went to Canada last year. I read it on a plane, and they're so good. I read the first 2 quite quickly. The second one especially was so harrowing. Like, I think the author's portrayal of grief was spot on. It was devastating. It was really good. This one I didn't read for a long time. Obviously I just read it now, and I forgot how attached I was to the world and to the characters. It literally devastated me all over again, and then it ended and I was like, oh my god, like crap. Like, when is the next one out? And it's out in May, so it's not too long to wait, but it's just long enough that I'm not comfortable with the wait. I really wish it was like more imminent because I need to know what happens. I really want them all to be happy and for things to work out. Like, I've never felt it so strongly in a series before, apart from the book I'm reading this week. But like, I just really need things to work out. Like, they all deserve some slack, do you know what I mean? If you haven't read that series, I do recommend it. It's such a good one. Like, it's high fantasy, I guess, and so there's like the world building is extraordinary. The cast of characters is enormous but fantastic, and like, it's just so good. Then after that I read The Foxglove King by Hannah Whitten. That was a lot better than I was expecting, actually. I finished this one and I had like a bit of a book hangover. I really didn't know what to read. Kind of panicked scrolling around on Goodreads for a while, and then settled on trying The Foxglove King because it talked about it being a world made of death magic, and I was like, okay, that's a neat premise, I'm not against it. it was so good. It was described as being like mostly YA, but I guess it is, but it's not in a way that I noticed, so that's a good thing. Sometimes when you read YA, it's very obviously YA in a way that I struggle with as someone in their late 20s, but this was fantastic, truly, so good. It really swept me up. I don't think I've been so swept up so fast since reading like the Cruel Prince trilogy. It was really good and also devastating. On the inside of the front cover there's this map, so I added it here as well. And then moving on from there, I have my Alistair style log. It works the same way it always has done. I've been using the little forward facing arrow to move tasks into the following week. Here I have a note mentioning that I've been dreaming a lot, but I can't remember them. I've not been able to write them down, they're just not sticking around long enough at the moment, which is a shame because for the first part of the year, like the first couple of months, I was keeping a really good log of my dreams, and they're really strange and funny to look back on as someone who is only ever like 80% conscious at all times. But they've been too rapid, they're almost like, it's like blinking, like they're too quick, and I do too much micro sleeping and it's just a whole thing. So I made a note that, you know, haven't been able to write them down. And then moving into these pages, my daily pages, I have been kind of cataloguing my work in here because this ring binder is my archive. I think I talked about, oh no, I didn't talk about this because I did it in a Patreon video. Okay, because last week for you guys I filmed the journal with me. Okay, so basically what I've worked out is I have 3 books now. You might have noticed that last week when I did the journal with me because I was journaling in an A6 avec, which is in the back of here, we'll get to it. Basically what I worked out for myself is that, like, I don't know how I got here, like I didn't expect it to happen like this, but basically I worked out that I like this one as my archive. I can't use either of my other 2 books without my rings to back it up. This is where the concrete information goes. This is how I can remember things. This is where I type everything up so that it's legible for later. This is kind of like my future-proofed book. It's A6, like true A6, not personal. So it's small enough that I can fill it every day, and it's big enough that I don't feel cramped like I did in sort of like the Hobonichi binder. Although I didn't feel that cramped in the Hobonichi binder, it was just a very awkward size. But I really like it. So I keep my weekly to-do list in here, obviously, which you've seen every week. My media tracking as well, I can keep track of books and stuff a lot easier in here and the things I'm watching. And then my to-do list as well just goes in here. I don't write that anywhere else, it's just easier to do it in here and then type up the ticks. And that way, no matter how far behind I fall in my other 2 traditional like handwritten books, I still have my archive. It's helpful for me to have a digital archive because it means that if I can't sleep at 3 in the morning, I can be typing on my iPad. That's harder to do with a pen and paper. It's a nice way of working for me. Like digital pages really works for me. And then as time went on, I did kind of miss having a traditional space, and that's how I ended up with the cousin. So the cousin then is my workbook, I think, mostly. I think sometimes I will just like have fun and scrapbook about the shows I'm watching and stuff, like I did for Daredevil, that kind of thing. Obviously in October I'll be collecting all the movies I watch, but mostly I use it as a workbook. And I think for me the thing to remember is that like I get to make the rules. Like it's my books that I make the rules, so like it's a workbook now, but it doesn't have to be forever. The only thing that matters is the archive. But this is my workbook. And then I had the A6 avec already. I bought them sometime between September and December last year when I was kind of panicking a little. And I thought it might be nice to have them as a backup in case like all else truly fails. So I have an A6 avec set. This is obviously January to June. And I put a painting in the front cover because the yellow makes me want to die. I don't know, it's still in the back, but like I don't know why it's such a bad yellow. Like it's not even like a nice warm toned yellow. It is truly like the most offensive yellow known to man. Not even yellow people could say this is a nice yellow. Truly. And the reason I picked this up from my shelf, not from the shops but from my shelf, was just because I noticed I was sat downstairs in the living room and I had an old one across the room, and I was thinking to myself like, oh, I wonder if an A6 avec would tuck into the back of my rings cover. And I couldn't, once I'd had the thought, I couldn't let it lie. I couldn't leave it be. So I went across the room and I picked it up and I was like, and it fits. And obviously being the girl that I am, I could not leave that information alone. The knowledge that it fits in the back was too much to bear. I couldn't do it. So I decided I would squeeze one into my system somehow. And I've been using it kind of like as a diary. So I have my archive, my workbook, and my diary. Obviously my archive is my typed up notes to read, my workbook is mostly work related, and then my diary is just kind of a place for more thoughts if I want them. I've been trying to maintain it daily, but it's kind of just like an extra space. At the moment there's just a lot of anxieties about the sleep clinic and stuff, and about my foot, I guess. Like, it's just kind of the quieter, maybe slightly sadder thoughts, if you will, the stuff that I wouldn't necessarily want to take up room with in my other two places. It's just like a more, not a more genuine, because I think these are genuine too, but it's a different type of vibe. But that's how I've been using it, so I ended up with 3 books. I guess I'll leave this here because that's where we got to last time. So then I took a photo of that page just because it's nice to loop it back into the archive. And as I've mentioned before, there's a lot of overlap in my books, and at this point with my memory issues and stuff and the cognitive difficulties, I guess, I'm experiencing with my sleep issues, it's the overlap and the repetition is really helpful. It helps it stick for me. I'm at a point where I'm like, the more overlap and repetition the better, to be honest. It used to really bother me because I used to think it's redundant to have the same thing happening in multiple places, but actually now it's quite helpful. So I have a photo of my desk and my table, my really messy table, and my notebook, and then I have one of my oracle cards in here. I ordered test copies from my manufacturer, so that's why they're floating around. And that's where the rosary card came from that's in my diary that you saw last week. This is when they arrived, and I had them all spread out on the table. I was kind of thinking about which ones I wanted to work on. And then I have my calendar for April. It's pretty plain. It's a fairly quiet month for us at the moment. It has the opportunity to change. There could be some stuff going on, but we're not sure yet. My dad is actually away this weekend, so I've been home alone spiraling about my letter. But hopefully when my foot is a bit better, I can get back outside. And then this is the first half of this week. I haven't printed the second half because today is Sunday and I haven't filled it out yet. I have a couple more oracle cards because that's really all I've been working on the last 2 weeks. It's all I worked on last week, and I worked on it for most of the beginning of this week too. So I've just been putting the cards in, mostly because I didn't set my weekly pages up until Wednesday because I was so distracted working on the cards. And because I was distracted like with work, with illustration stuff, I didn't want to put it down to do other stuff. I just wanted to let myself ride the hyperfixation. So I put the cards over the top, and that kind of tells me when I look back through it that like, okay, I was working on that, and that's why the days aren't there. I watched the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, not even a crumb of Animal Crossing, really tragic. I was really hoping they would either release the like edition version of New Horizons, which they did for like Zelda and stuff, or maybe, I thought that was probably delusional, but I was kind of hoping that when the GameCube stuff came around, that they might make the GameCube game available, like the Animal Crossing GameCube game, which they didn't. Nintendo hates Animal Crossing. I like to think maybe it's because they're working on a new game in the background and they'll release it at quite early into the life of the Switch 2, but at this point it's like, I don't want to get my hopes up. I was really hoping they would make an edition version of New Horizons because the lag you get on the islands if you have like more than 10 items is a nightmare. And when I put it on the TV, I get motion sick from the flickering. So I only play it handheld, obviously, but it doesn't fix the lag, and I was really hoping. It was probably naive of me, you know, a little bit delusional, as I say, but tragic. Some other really good stuff though. I am excited, but I probably won't be buying it at release. I'll wait until the end of the year when Witchbrook comes out, because oh my god, was anyone following the Witchbrook development? Because I have been following Witchbrook like on Twitter back in the day, and then I was subscribed to their newsletter, and I've been in the Discord. Like, I have been waiting for Witchbrook to come out for like 9 years. Literally like 9 years. Okay, I didn't mean for my voice to get so edgy, but like I've been waiting so long, and like in the Discord, in the community, we thought it had been abandoned. Like it was truly abandoned, and then they just like it was just in the trailer. Like, oh, I'm so excited. It's gonna be so good. I can feel it in my bones. I knew it as soon as I saw it. It really reminds me of a game I played as a kid for a while before it got ruined. I used to play like an MMORPG called Spineworld. I don't know if anyone remembers it. I feel so daft every time I bring it up because no one knows what I'm talking about. But I used to play a game called Spineworld, and for like one summer, like one school holiday summer, I was so deeply invested in Spineworld. And you could run around and customize your clothes and stuff. The world was amazing, kind of like steampunky almost. And you could solve missions and run errands, and it was really cool. I really loved that kind of thing as a kid. And Witchbrook style-wise really reminds me of Spineworld, and so it's really hitting a nostalgic thing for me. Anyway, so I watched the Switch 2 Direct. And then moving into my media tracking, which I printed this morning so I could show you because these books are ruining my life. I read The Foxglove King. It was devastating. It was so good. The love triangle is so compelling. It's not a trope I'm normally into. Normally if I see love triangle in the reviews, I'm like out of there, but I was like, I'll give it a try. And actually it's very compelling. And it's not too annoying, at least not in the first book, and then by the time you get to the second book you're so invested in them all that you're like, I just want you to be happy. Really good. The way the death magic works in the world is incredible, and the descriptions of it and stuff, like the necrotic fingers, is so sick. And because it's like a church versus crown kind of vibe, it's quite gothic. Like it's really fun. It's kind of loosely based on like Versailles, I think. Like the prince is literally like the sun prince, and it's really cool. The second book, I've just finished it last night. Sinister as hell. It's really scary. Like there's I don't want to spoil it. I can't tell you. I don't want to spoil it. I'm really bad at like accidentally spoiling things, but basically something happens and like it's really eerie. Like I don't think I've ever read a book along that theme before, and it's really creepy. When I worked out what was happening quite early on, I had to wait like 200 pages for it to be confirmed, and the whole time I was just so like creeped out. Like my heebies were GB'd. It was so scary. I finished it last night, devastated by the ending. And the third book, the last book in the trilogy, doesn't come out until July, I think. Actually, last night I was signing up to all the advanced reader copy websites because I was like, I need closure. I thought I would try my luck. I signed up to NetGalley and I got approved for a couple of books, so I might start reading arcs. It might be kind of fun. No idea what I'm doing, but I thought I would try. Especially because I'm finding it harder to find books to read. I've read a lot this year already. I actually hit my Goodreads reading goal. But yeah, I really recommend this series. It's going to be a trilogy and the last book comes out in July. And I printed a little fan art to go here. So there we go. And then my daily pages, this would be my to-do list, obviously not printed yet because I still have stuff to do. I have a little mood board. I have some more oracle cards. I have this one. It came from the back of one of the sticker sheets you saw in my journaling video last week. The back of the sheet breaks down into like memo cards, which is so clever. They're perforated. So I broke one down, and I put the sticker of Wednesday on the back. And then here I was just thinking about stuff and things. Here yesterday I was kind of spiraling. This is my morning spiral and this is my evening spiral about whether or not the letter might come. And that's the end of my rings. But I just wanted to show you that I am maintaining them. We are keeping up. They're getting kind of chunky, which is nice. Especially now that I'm printing double-sided, like everything is a lot less. When you print folded, it's so much paper. It's kind of nice this way, I guess. One thing I did do is I hole punched an A6 pencil board I had lying around, so that I could use it as a page lifter or page protector. I'd been using like just a sheet of paper, I think, and it wasn't really working, and then it suddenly occurred to me, like, I've used a pencil board for this before, like why am I not using a pencil board for this? I had actually been carrying the pencil board like in the pocket here, and then like it just wasn't doing anything, and I was like, so I punched that and put it in, and that's helped a lot actually. My pages aren't getting so messed up. So that's great. In my pockets, I still just have Tiny Me. the arcade card, and also the Italian deli loyalty card. I have more oracle cards. And then in my diary then, which I hope is in frame, as I say, I put this painting over the top, and then I put one of the stickers from last week on here too. And I got the printer ink everywhere. You might have seen it when I turned the book over, but the ink was so light. I got it all over the inside of the book. I might have to sticker it up. So in my little diary, we won't go through it too closely. Last week you saw these journal pages. These are the ones I made for the video. And then I have my oracle card progress. I put this over the top just because I wasn't feeling how it turned out, and then like sometimes it's nice to just knock it back a bit. And I used this memo, but like when it was turned around it was still too intense, so I just flipped it over. And some more of those stickers again, and then there's a couple of pages during the week. They're not very interesting, I don't think, because as I say, like this is just my little feelings book. I think today is the 6th, so we are up to date mostly. Oh no, is today the 7th? I don't know where we are. But it's just little bits of stickers really. Eventually I think what I want to do is put stickers in the calendar in this book so I can mark the days with stickers, but I'm also aware that I'm like burning through the stickers I bought. I'm trying to slow down a bit. Even though I'm having fun, it's like I can't keep ordering stickers. I mean I could, but I shouldn't, I guess. So I'm trying to level it out, trying not to get too carried away. But I think it would be really cool to fill these with stickers. So stay tuned and see if I cave on that. As I say, this is like my more personal book, I guess. It's just kind of like a little friend. So there's not too much to see. And then moving on to my cousin then. I'm just gonna put this over here for now. Things are good. So these are the pages you saw obviously in the ring binder, and this is what I talked about. And then I made an alignment chart for my oracle cards. I started this project in August last year, and I made a big list in the notes app on my phone of the cards I wanted to make and what they would mean. Now that I'm working on them properly and like really speeding through them or fixating on them, I wasn't sure how positive or negative some of the cards were leaning. I had some that were quite negative, and I was worried they were too negative. I had too many negative ones, so I made an alignment chart, by which I mean I just sorted them into categories. So my cards fall into 3 main categories. I have things, places, and like states, like emotional states or feelings, or like states of being. I'm not sure how it happened, it just kind of unfolded that way. This whole thing has been kind of like my subconscious is running the show. I've just been kind of going with my gut on it. It feels kind of right though, if you know what I mean. So basically the 3 branches are those, like things, places, and states, and then I have positive, neutral, and negative. And actually most of them are neutral, which I think is a really good thing, because neutral can lean either way, just like in tarot. It's like when you pull the death card, it's not inherently negative. It doesn't mean you're gonna die. It's open to interpretation. It represents a lot of things, and I think most of my cards are like that. There's a few that are more negative. I have one that's just called rot. And I have loss, and I have the bog, and I have the ghost, and the x-ray, which became the bones. So it's not called the x-ray anymore. But then I also have quite a few like inherently positive ones too, which I think is nice. And then most are neutral, which again I think is a good thing. So this alignment chart was really helpful actually, because I realized that I didn't have a problem. Like I had accidentally, subconsciously leveled it really well. And that's kind of nice. Here again is one of the sample cards, the knife. And then I have some stickers. Again, you saw most of these on last week's video. They're all from the journal station. Who I am now a really big fan of. It's been nice to layer these stickers up. I love these strawberry ones, but I have to be careful. I should have bought 2 sheets and I didn't. That's what I learned. I should always buy 2 sheets of the cool ones so I can use them without fear. As I say, the whole of the last 2 weeks I've just been working on oracle cards. I've been so like obsessed. So everything you see from now is just oracle cards. It's been really fun. People have been asking me to make my own tarot deck for a long time, but I didn't want to because it has a very specific set of definitions, and I know you can kind of be creative with it, but I wasn't interested. And then last August I realised I could make an oracle deck instead, and then I could just make it all up, and I liked the idea of that a bit more. That's more compelling to me, is being able to choose the images and the definitions and the associations, I guess. Like, I love that. It's been really fun to work on it and to kind of navigate and kind of decide and identify how I see the world and the kind of things I use as touchstones to navigate by. Like, it's kind of sick. So I have one called the telephone, and I put some cute stickers with it. I wanted it to be kind of timeless. It's like a wall-mounted landline from my childhood. I have the cup of coffee. That used to be the sun. I have the moon, the star, and the sun, and then I was like, I don't actually like the sun, so I changed it into the cup of coffee because I was like, do you know what else is optimistic, full of opportunity, and also fulfillment? A hot cup of coffee. So I changed it, and I put donuts around the edges, and so it's very reminiscent of like a damn fine cup of coffee. That to me is very like, that feels like warmth, is a cup of coffee, like a really good, you know. I have the journals, obviously very inspired by my books and also by the journal meetup I go to. Full credit to all my lovely friends at the journal meetup. And that one represents curiosity, consistency, and a process. And then I have the moon, and because I'm really obsessed with the man in the moon, I don't know if you guys have seen that one picture. I love the man in the moon. So I wanted to draw some version of that. I don't know that I'm 100% on how it came out. I might adjust it. Which is why this project has been so under wraps, because I keep going back to adjust things, and I'm really worried about people printing stuff when it's not finished, it's not ready. I keep adjusting and changing and sort of tweaking all the cards. Why am I losing my voice? I'm always losing my voice. But I do like it, I think. I've just kind of left it for now to let it breathe. I keep having a look at it and thinking like, I do like it, I think. It's just different to what I guess most people would choose to represent the moon, which is like a beautiful little crescent, but I wanted something creepier. Again, I've been layering some stickers here, which is something I've been having a lot of fun doing, keeping things relatively minimal appearance wise, or at least like cohesively laid out, I guess, and then just being able to layer some stickers around the edges is a nice balance for me. Here again, some more. I have the bones, which is nice. This is one of the more negative cards. It represents broken, disrupted, and displaced. But what I did was I drew the hand in the cast, and it wasn't really filling the space in the way that I needed. So I ended up adding a second hand drawing on the cast, and I thought that was kind of nice because I think it's kind of like, even when things are broken, like, you're never truly alone, if you know what I mean. The help is always there somewhere. And so it's nice to have a second-hand drawing on the cast, because I think that kind of hints at friendship or support or something. I don't know, just spitballing. But that's how I did it. I have the ghost, which represents unseen, unexplained, and unresolved, which is cool. Again, this is one I'm not 100% sure I'm happy with. I feel like there's something about it that's not quite right, but like, it's a ghost in front of a coffin. Like, what more do I want? But we'll see. And then I did darkness, which is distraction, longing, and the unknown. That's felt very relevant the last couple of days. It's interesting because I feel very attached to my cards already. Like, I'm itching to be able to read with them properly, but I have to finish the project first. Again, layered some stickers down here. I have another one underneath. Haven't done the writing for this day yet. I think I got distracted working on more cards. And then here we are this couple of days. So today is the 6th. This is the one from last night again, just because I was cooked yesterday, absolutely cooked. So I did not do any book work apart from to sort of ramble incoherently in my file of facts about sleep issues. And there we go. So I actually did fill every day of March, in case anyone was wondering. We have all the days. I added some more stickers over here. I've been kind of adjusting them as I go a little bit, filling some gaps. But I did a full month every single day, which I don't know that I've ever managed before. I think even in my previous cousins, there's always been like 1 or 2 blank days in a month, but I've been really maintaining it and really enjoying it, actually. So that's how it looks. All of March, and then I'm into April. So long as I keep maintaining, I think we're going to be fine, you guys. The next thing, the biggest thing, I guess, we'll be getting through the next couple of weeks. I'm really not sure what they will hold for me. so bear with me if I disappear on you. I promise it won't be truly intentional, it's just that I don't know what the letter's going to contain. The samples for the oracle cards though have turned out really nicely. Obviously when you look at them in here, the printing looks quite thin. I'm just printing on the cheap printer paper with my 10-year-old printer. I always think of it as like the little engine that could, because it's so old. But I'm very loyal to it. So things look a bit thin, but when they're printed properly on the textured card, and this is like with like thick, high quality watercolor type paper, the texture, you can see the printing is a lot clearer, it's a lot sharper. They pack more of a punch, I think, which is really nice. So yeah, that's where these cards came from. A couple of you spotted the rosary in my diary and you were wondering, and that's what it is. It's a project I'm working on. They'll be available digitally for people internationally to print at home. I think it's going to be 4 A4 sheets. They're A7, so you get 8 on a page. I finished 3 pages. I've only got 1 page left to do. I'm really muscling through them and enjoying it actually, which is such a relief. Because when you have issues with sleep and stuff and cognition and also your perception, I think it can be really hard to stay inspired artistically. Like it has been. My work, the volume of work I do, I guess, my output has been so reduced in the last couple of years, which is really kind of like devastating. Like personally, I have ideas but I can't see anything through. It's really hard. It's like moving through sand or fog or mud. Like I just can't, I don't know, can't seem to get anything done or think about anything clearly. But this project has really been keeping me going the last couple of weeks. It's felt like the right time to work on it. I'm probably going to throw myself back into it today just for the distraction. Obviously there's no post on Sundays, so the letter is not coming today, and that should help a bit. Yesterday I was not coping with the idea that it could arrive anytime. I haven't spiraled like that in a long time. But these little cards are really cool. I'm really pleased with how they're turning out, so I'm gonna keep working on that. As I say, I only have 1 sheet left to do, I think, so that's only 8 cards. Like, that'll take me like 4 days if I work hard, at the speed I have been if I work hard. So hopefully I might be able to finish it. And then I will get them ordered and it will be so cool. Okay, I think that's everything I have to share with you this week. As I say, I don't have any B-roll footage to show you because I've been inside. But that's what I wanted to update you on, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm hoping you have a good rest of the week if you're watching this on a Monday, and I will see you next time.